Hi, hello, and welcome to Bodyful Minds. More you, less noise. The podcast for ambitious mums who want a career and life that truly fit them. I'm Katrina, a body awareness and career coach, mother of 3, and here to help you reconnect with yourself, set boundaries without guilt, and move forward in your career on your terms. Let's dive in. Here's something rather personal that I wanted to share with you this episode. And that is, body awareness does not come easily to me. I myself have come to realize how important it is to be intentional, to listen to our bodies, and to ground in and through our bodies. But that doesn't mean that it does come easily to me. The thing is that I've grown up in competitive sports. And at the time, that meant a lot of drill. And with drill, as you probably know, comes ignoring your body, constantly pushing your boundaries. Now, I'm not saying that pushing boundaries is a bad thing, okay? And I'm not saying that I'm unhappy with the fact that I was in competitive sports. I think it has taught me a lot. I really enjoyed it. I genuinely enjoyed it, even when it was hard, or maybe sometimes even especially because it was hard, because I like pushing myself. But you unlearn to listen to your body because, even when you're injured and there's like a tournament, you got to play, right? So I'm naturally not so attuned to my body because of that upbringing, and probably because I'm just somebody who's always busy and who's often rushing. And that has come to my detriment at some points or another. It has also helped me greatly. But, the importance is the balance between knowing when to push, and I've talked about this before, and knowing when to pause. And so for me, it requires actually quite a bit of practice to keep my intention, to be aware of my body, to notice the signs that my body is trying to give to me. I wanted to share this because I think you might see me as somebody who's sitting between the mess, the laundry, the noise of the kids, and can meditate and sit there and be calm and grounded. And that's just not me. That's not me. Instead, I have to remind myself to practice. And there are times where I am body aware. I practice all the time, but to different degrees. And there are times in my life, for example, now, and that is why I've been so quiet on social media, for example, where I need to practice more in order to stay regulated. And where I notice that my body is sending me the signals and says, you need to take it down a notch. And I often notice that also when I easily flinch with my children, and when I notice like, hey, that's not the kind of mom you want to be. And yeah, so I'm pushing myself often, and often too much. But I will always come back to that point where I notice, okay, now you need to amplify your practice again. And it also means that sometimes you will hear more from me on the podcast, maybe, and sometimes it'll be more quiet, because I don't believe in teaching one thing to other people and then doing myself the other thing, right? And I'm also still evolving. I'm still learning, and that's also something that I enjoy. I want to very much be learning with you. And yes, maybe in some ways I'm a step ahead of you regarding techniques for body awareness, regarding strategy for career development, of course, regarding organizational development and why organizations need to focus on developing their staff, and what in turn you as a member of staff can do to tap into that and to drive that forward. But we're all just people. And even in this, and that's true for any expert, we are inconsistent ourselves. We strive for consistency, and that's important, but we're never 100% consistent with everything. And that's okay, because we're just people. The important thing is to get back up and to start over again, if it's starting over, or to just emphasize, for example, like in my case, my body awareness practice more again. So, for example, I was running a lot and I was doing not as much yoga, and now I'm doing a bit more yoga again because I know it helps me tune into my body and come back to myself. And then I need to find the right balance again. And then at other times, it will be a different practice. But to stay flexible and mindful and always come back to that practice and always notice, hang on, now I could do or should do a bit more again, and it's fine. I can get on with a bit less. Yeah, so it was really important for me to be open about that, because it's not like once you start body awareness practice, it's like it's just there. You have to keep practicing. And sometimes it will be easier for you. Sometimes you will have more time to do it. Sometimes you will need to make the time, and you will know when the time comes to make the time. But it's a constant practice. But that's nothing to be afraid of. That's something to be thankful for, because every time we have got a moment where we feel we're out of tune, it's a new opportunity to learn again, to tap into the body, to understand yourself better, and to get a bit closer to who you want to be, because you notice something is off when you are not the way you want to be, right? And then that's draining you. Then you don't have the energy to keep going at the high speed that you are going, that you're going at. So, yeah, I hope you will embrace that with me. And I will keep reminding you to practice your body awareness, but these reminders will always also serve as a reminder for myself to keep practicing, to keep evolving, to finding new tools, new ways to tap into my body without adding more to my list. And to help you use that tool also to advance your career in a way that is in line with you. And, if that is interesting to you, if this is the first episode you're listening to, you definitely should listen to the other episodes, because there's a lot in there on how body awareness can help you advance your career, why it is important to tune into yourself in a professional context too. I'm just naming one example. That is before an important meeting or an important presentation, you might just want to check in with yourself, take a deep breath, and envision how you want to give this presentation, which energy you want to bring to that presentation, because it will prime you to do so. And that's just one example of how being in your body, being grounded in your body, can support your career by you showing up differently at work, but also allowing you to show up differently in your home, in your private life. I guess I've now spoken a lot about myself in this episode, and there was a good reason, because I wanted to be transparent about my own practice, my own struggles with practicing, as much as I'm trying to integrate that in my daily routine. But the other takeaway I think that is important is that you have to evolve your own practice, and it's something you commit to and that you keep doing, rather than starting to do it, stop do it, start do it, stop do it. Then you won't get the results. If you are having more practice and less practice, that's not so much of a problem. If overall you're in tune with yourself and you notice, oh, hang on, now I really should be doing more practice again. But it's not a one-off thing. It's something that you decide, this is good for me. This helps me to cope. This helps me regulate. This helps me be my best, in the sense that I'm the person I want to be at work as much as at home. So please keep checking in with yourself, even if it's only briefly, a couple of times throughout the day. And, it doesn't have to be a full yoga session or fully mindful and intentional run or whatever it is that works for you to tune into your body. But stay with it and see what it does, and intentionally use it on the job when you have got high stakes meetings or negotiations going on. Tune in before, tune in after, get to know your body and its reactions to these situations. If you enjoyed the episode today, I'd love for you to subscribe or send it on to a fellow mama who needs to hear this today and who could benefit. And generally, get in touch. Tell me what you liked. Tell me what you didn't like. I hope you'll tune in again next time. Until then, More you, less noise.